Now this is really interesting. It says Carl.
What in the world is that? I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Hey, it's Jason from Denwerks. Got something pretty cool. Today I got a 1971 little BMW 2002 E10. Pretty cool car in general. A two-owner. A friend of mine brought this up from Washington to have me help him sell it. And we did sell a clown shoe coupe, BMW coupe, on Bring a Trailer that he brought to us also a year ago. And the thing was just immaculate. But anyways, this car is really a good example, very solid, and especially being a two-owner. He got it in 2017, came out of Idaho, and it was imported by Hoffman Motor Company in October 1970, and then it sold new in 71 at Peterson Motor BMW in Boise, Idaho. Paint is Granada red, and it looks good. It's been repainted once. It hasn't been repainted under the hood or anything like that, but overall just a nice looking car. Not perfect, but a ton of work. If you go into the auction, and I'm not going to talk a lot about it, there's a 41-page listing information from the owner of prehistory, from when it was new all the way till now. And it's so much information, and it would be really nice for the next owner. I wish every owner would take care of their car like the way that Gary did, and he did such a nice job on documenting everything like he always does. And if you ever need any help selling something on Bring a Trailer, you can go to my website, Instagram, DENWERKS, hashtag Denwerks, and find us. We don't like smoke and mirrors or anything like that, so I want to show you exactly what you're getting. And we kind of specialize in cars that you can actually drive. You know, we spend a lot of time on mechanicals and stuff, and sometimes our stuff isn't the most prettiest, but who wants to have a car in the garage that looks awesome, but you can't drive it because it's junk? So anyways, we'll just walk around it here. I'm going to show you different things about it. In one of the comments already, someone was saying the kidney bean was upside down. We actually flipped it. So I measured it, it's like a 1/4 inch difference. So it's narrower at the bottom and wider at the top. So if you see the gap now, that is correct. So we did flip that. So in case inquiring minds wanted to know, that was done. So a good catch on who saw that. It's so you just barely could catch it, and I didn't even know. So especially because of the angle. But we'll go ahead and show you the lights first. We've got headlights, or marker lights are on right now. We've got headlights, high beams, and then we got blinkers. We got the left, actually, which is the right, and then we got the right, which is actually the left. And finally figured that out. Go ahead and shut the lights off. Hit the horn real fast. Horn works. This car was in 1970, I think it was 74 or 1976 actually. It got in a front end collision, and it took out the front fascia there and the core support. So they replaced the core support, but in Gary's notes it said the hood was replaced, but honestly I don't think it was, because when you flip the hood open, unless they replace it with an exact original color, which would be pretty rare find back in the day, the hood's original paint underneath. So I think it was more of a lower, obviously took out the bumper and the nose here and the radiator support. So that's all been replaced. I'll put it up on my lift so you can see a better look, but fenders are original, and I think hood is original, but his notes say that, and I've showed Gary that too, and he's like, well, maybe I was wrong. And so, and then in 84 or 19, I think it was 88 or 98, this bottom half of the door was repainted, and the color match is off. So there's a lot of little chips, a lot of little scratches, a couple little rust bubbles. When I put it under my lift, you'll see how solid this thing is, but overall, very, very solid car, and doesn't have a lot of the rust issues that normally these have in general. So we'll just walk around it here. I keep on saying that, but you can see a little ding right there. Sometimes I'll point at stuff. I'm not going to mention stuff on every little thing. Actually, that wasn't a ding. That's where the screw is. There was a little ding here. Actually, was what I was thinking of. A lot of things to think about when you're trying to do a video. A lot of little chips that have been touched up on the hood. You can see here the little chip there, bigger one here. So a lot of little things on the car. When you look down the side, fairly straight. You know, the paint isn't a high quality paint or anything like that. So, but overall it looks nice. A little wavy, but I think it's mostly not a bunch of body work happened to it, but they just didn't do a lot of blocking and sanding. And you know, and back in the day, you know, in the 70s when this thing was repainted, you know, it car wasn't worth a bunch, so why would you? You can see here it's got pretty cool wheels. Ruspa 6x13 Toyo tires, Eclipse, and they're 175/70 13s, and those tires were put on in 2017. We'll look down here at the rocker. I got a little dirt on it because we were out videoing and stuff, but you can see just a couple little scratches and little chips. Around the wheel well looks good. And also around the nose, sometimes they get rusty. Here, no bubbles or anything, and the lower valance is really nice. A couple little chips again. Windshield doesn't have any cracks. It looks good. A couple little chips here on the roof. Rest of the roof looks good. You can see this body line right there. It's still defined. They're not super defined from the factory, but you can tell it's still there. Look at the bottom of the door. No rust. You can see some bigger chips right there. A couple right here. A lot of chips on the door edge. No rust here at the bottom or around the wheel lip. A lot of little chips though, you can see. A couple right there, a little scratch. Behind the wheel here, there's a little bubbling right there. Sorry, I got all the dirt went through a mud puddle. Little scratch. Something from the back of the trunk popped the paint out just a little bit right there. Couple little dings on the car. This is kind of I think someone left something underneath the hood. There's a little Audi right there. The rest of the hood looks pretty good, but you can see a little, kind of a little mark right there, but overall looks great. Windows pop out. Take a look at the back here. A little ding. License plate light. A couple little cracks you can see there. Let's go ahead and show them the lights real fast. You got tail lights, marker lights are working. Brake lights. Got turn signals. And then brakes. Brake lights, and then reverse won't stay on. They kind of flicker, so there's probably a connection. Do it again. You can see they're flickering on, but the connections probably needs to be tightened up or cleaned. You can see the license plate lights do work on it. Paint back here, kind of the same all the way around. You can see a couple little Audi little dings right there, but back tail panel looks good. Bumpers and bumperettes look good. In the write-up also they talk about the bumper here, that both ends were replaced. It was actually only one side, and I think it was the right side that Gary had changed. You know, so we'll just take a look at this side real fast for you again. Matching wheels all the way around. Those are super cool. You don't see those very often. A couple bigger chips right there, a couple little ones here. Window gasket, I believe, was replaced. The door gaskets are replaced. So the doors, you got to really shut them good because the gaskets are seal really good. So if you look down here at the bottom of the door, no rust. You know, again, you can see the color match different. You can see right here, a little chrome flaked off. Bigger chips that have been touched up. Around the wheel well, looks great. This here is you can see the paint's flaked off. We just touched it up with a little red right there instead of a rusty look. But you can see little bubbles right around there. But overall, this looks really good. Little chip. So you can see the date code 2017 on there. So hopefully that gives you a pretty good overview of it in general. Not perfect. You can see sanding, scratches, and prep. But again, the paint is from 1976. So nice thing is this wasn't painted yesterday. So you know exactly what you're getting when you look at it, which is really nice. And I'd prefer a car like that, in my opinion. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and show you the interior and underneath the hood. I'll put it up on my lift. Enough of my talking. See you in a bit. We're going to take a look at the inside of the car, but first I wanted to show you the gap is nice. Door shuts nice. But you do, since it has new gaskets on it, like I mentioned earlier, that you have to make sure to shut it kind of hard. So interior looks good. Overall, you can see it does have some cracks in the dash. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one small one over there on the corner. I'll show from the other side. Steering wheel is fairly rare on these. This is a sport wheel, and they were only in the first kind of production ones when these came out in that year. So, and I think they switched to a different style, but it's actually a pretty rare wheel. It's got a leather cover on it. You can see the kind of cranked right there, a little worn right there. What's really cool too, and now that I got the key in there, it does have the well, I got the key stuck, but I'll show it to you in a second, but it has the original folding key, which is pretty rare. You don't see those very often. And oh, there we go. And I wanted to show you too, in 2002 they sent out a keychain and a brochure to original owners of 2002s, and so that's what this is. This is an original keychain. I guess these are worth about $150, because how many original owners were there around that still had their cars all those years? You can see this key does work. I don't like to use it very much. You can see there's a little crack right there in it, but rare piece for sure. Door panels look good. You can see it's got speakers. It's got new cocoa mats in it, and inside the jams look nice. You know, no accidents in here. If you look here, a couple little cracks right there in the top of the seat, but original seats, and they look good overall. Gary was able to get new, actually it was actually a used set, and he used the original seat back here, but he took the material that he bought from a guy off a forum, because usually this is all cracked and deteriorated. So this is original material that he found, and had the seat reproduced. Carpets are original, look pretty good, but there's definitely some wear. And I'll take the carpets or pictures for you, but you can just see some little wear. But I'll take the things out for the pictures. Gauges all work. 71-910 Blaupunk AM radio, which even though it's not an FM, pretty rare to find one of those that are working. And 4-speed transmission. I'll take a look at the other side. Oh, I was going to show you the headliner real fast. Headliner is in really good shape, no tears or anything like that. And we'll just hop around the other side. Take a look. This door here you got to shut just a little harder. See that with the gasket? Just shut it. And but nice panel gap. Actually, all the way around that. A little wider, right there, but not much. But this one here is real clean. Let's take a look here. Door panel looks good. And I just noticed this had come off with the screw. That piece goes right in here. So we'll attach that back in there, but I just noticed that sitting on the floor. So if you look inside, the jamb, again, looks really good. And I'm pretty sure this is original paint. In here you can see the tape line, but original paint on the jamb. And I'm not bragging that it's really nice, it's just looks pretty good though. It's nice to see original paint there. Glove box, a couple little fuses and things like that. Take a look at the back of the seat. Both seat backs look the same. You know, but overall clean. Doesn't smell like smoke, by the way. Actually smells good. Inside smells like a German car. So, anyways, I will show you some more stuff. Hey, we're just gonna cruise around in the little BMW 2002. I like the sound of these cars, the way they the sound's going through the gears. Sounds nice. I've actually always wanted one of these, and it wasn't until this is my third one that I've had in the last couple months, and they're really cool cars. Very cool. I like the way they ride. And, this will probably be one of my next purchases, so I understand all the rage for sure. You can see the gauges, gas gauge works, speedometer will work, or the odometer will show you in a few minutes, but you can see the tacks working and everything. Go ahead and put the cigarette lighter in. You know, the radio does work, but I think we blew a fuse. I mean, I've been bragging about the radio. We'll check that when I get back and update you on that, but because originally when I got it, it wasn't working, and Gary had a problem with it when he came over, and then we changed the fuse out, fixed some wirings, that works, but now the fuse went on me again. Go ahead and hit the blinkers and stuff like that, see if you can see them in the dash. Are they flashing? Oh yeah, they're on the left, you can see. And so the heater, hopefully you can hear that. You can hear the heater, wipers work, and horn, honkity honk. And go ahead and we'll slam on the brakes here real fast. Not any wheel shake or anything like that. And she stopped really nice and straight. Pretty nice little car, really. So we'll cruise around and show you some more stuff here in a minute. Hey, we're going to take a look underneath the hood. There's a lever. One thing I like about these BMWs, it's pretty mechanical. Here's the hood hinge, or the latch, and it latches on both sides, so pretty cool. So engine compartment looks good overall. Actually pretty clean in here. I don't see any signs of any rust. You see what I'm talking about, the hood? That is original paint, I believe, underneath there, and it is the same color as the car, so I don't think it's been replaced. You can see it's got newer pad underneath. Engine was replaced with a 69 date code on it in 84, and the car had 162 on it at the time. And when Gary bought it in 2016, the guy pretty much parked the car and didn't drive it that much. It wasn't like parked and just sat around, but the guy'd only use it like maybe on the weekend and different things from 84 all the way to 2016, kept it running and kept the fluids going, but he put 7,000 miles on it from that time. And today it's got 17.1 on it, so 17.19, and so 171,900 miles. So I'm guessing Gary probably put like about 1,500 miles on it, I guess, from the time he had it. But he did so much work to it, and you got to read the report on it in general. Just a lot of great information. So if you look in the inner wells here, they look good. You can see here the radiator support was replaced, and it does look like original paint to me. So maybe they did find a car that was red, and maybe the hood, you know, I'm just not sure, because this is definitely original paint in here on the core support. You can see a seam. You can see the seam where they seamed it though, and it kind of, you can see there it has probably a seam sealer going across there. When I put it up on my lift, they could have done just a little bit better job with the flanging, but overall this must have been touched up some, obviously, in here back then, but the rest of this looks fairly original to me, unless they painted it. But definitely the hood looks original to me. So we'll go ahead and you know, battery's fairly new, shock towers, everything looks good. We're gonna go ahead and fire it up here for you so you can hear it run. See all your VIN numbers, 1677187, and it has the VIN number on the steering column. Go ahead and fire it up. You know, in the write-up it talks about Gary replaced had the carburetor rebuilt. He actually didn't have it rebuilt. I think he put a new accelerator pump in it at the time, but just a ton of work. I mean, he definitely made the car, improved the car like a bunch. So runs really smooth, sounds really good. You can see the apron up here looks good. So go ahead and rev it up a little bit. You know, it sounds good, drives good, and mechanically it's in awesome shape. So this is a rig that you could come in, drive it home, drive it back to New York, California. When Gary brought it here, he drove it 300 miles, no problem. So, and I've driven it around quite a bit. So we'll show you some more stuff. Hey, we're gonna take a look at the trunk real fast here. You know, overall clean trunk. It's pretty amazing. The toolkit, I think a lot of people would like to have that. Original toolkit is in here. The rest of the trunk is original paint. You can see the shock tower back here, looks good. You know, you can see scrapes and stuff like that from putting stuff in the trunk. Spare tire is in it. You also get the original wheels and tires, hubcaps, and the tires on the other wheels I think from 2014, so they're actually good tires. But you can see here in general has not been hit in the back. Everything looks really nice. Gasket looks good. And we'll take a look up in here. Very clean. You'll see some paint flaking off. You can see the original primer underneath here, but the paint is flaking off back here on the trunk lid. No rust up underneath here, so actually pretty clean in general. So hopefully that gives you a good view of the trunk area, and we'll show you some more stuff. Hey, we're going to take a look at the BMW underneath. You're still going to see all the still photos and stuff like that, but I think this just actually does a better job of showing you the structure and pointing out different things as we look underneath of it. So we'll just start here to the front to the back. Right up underneath here, the front balance looks good. I got my flashlight out here. You can see all the spot welds going across there. We've been driving it, so it's a little dirty. You know, as you know, this has been replaced up here. I'm imagining, because when I was showing you up top there, the inner core support was replaced, and you can see right up here, if I get my camera there you go. You can see where that piece is. The front core support is replaced, and you can see the edge of the old inner apron there against a used, you know, front piece, and that was done many years ago. But you know, but there's not any more accident stuff. You can see a little bit up there, you know, where that could be cleaned up a little bit better. But and hammer and dolly just a little bit there on the flange would look a little bit better. But I mean, you can't tell really from the other side. We'll take a look at this side here for you. And kind of the same thing. You can just see that edge, but that'd be an easy fix. Hopefully my camera's not too close and you can see that. But otherwise it looks really good up there in the fender. Looks nice. You know, up inside the fenders. You can see the shock mount up there. Looks good. Brake lines look really good. You can see down here at the bottom of the cowl area, this is very solid. Very solid car overall. I haven't had any issues where I thought anything was crazy or anything like that. We'll take a look at the side here, up inside behind the cowl, kind of the footwell area. That all looks really nice. Up inside the fender, you can see that all looks really good. You can see the strut mount, everything looks good. Brake lines, you know, nothing strange. Frame rails look really good, and there's not any crinkles or anything up here. I think it was kind of a minor thing up in the front. I mean, you got to remember this car's, you know, old car, you know, but you can see here the frame rail looks good too, and nothing happened on the inner apron, so that's good. You can see it's got an upgraded sway bar up front. You'll see a little bit of seepage around the oil pan there. Nothing major. You can look underneath the battery box. Looks good. You can see a little surface rust there, but you can see it's very dry up there below the head. In general, you can see some engine numbers there. You can see up inside here. Again, you'll just see a little tiny seepage, but nothing that's like alarming or anything like that. Seepage around the transmission. You got to remember too that, you know, this car's really not been a restored car. It's a car that's been driven, you know, but it doesn't really leak on the floor or anything like that. It's just a little wet looking. Take a look at the floors. Really nice floors. They don't get any solider than this. If you look across here at the back of the rocker, looks good. Body mount area looks good. You can see the tunnel. Looks good as well. Take a look at this floor. Take a look at this frame rail. You know, everything looks really solid. You can see this is along that flange, got dented up just a little bit. Not a biggie. Body mount. Well, it's really not a body mount, it's a suspension mount back here, but you can see there it's not rusty or anything like that. Looks good. Rear floors look nice. You can see it's got stainless pipe and exhaust all the way back. Rear sway bar. We checked all the fluids in it and everything looks good. You'll see a little dampness around the rear end. Obviously this has been off before, but you can see a little dampness there. The boots look good. They're not cracked or anything like that. Bilstein shocks back here look fairly new. You can see this boot, again, looks good. You know, no rust back here. You can see up there the mount around the wheel well and all that. Everything looks good. You can see there some loose, that's just loose undercoating. Take a look at this wheel well here. Again, you can see loose undercoating there, but overall looks good. You can see the bottom of the rocker. Here it looks actually really clean. Very nice there under the rocker. Go around here to the back. You'll see that surface rust here on the back of the quarter panel. If you look up inside here though, it actually looks really clean. Around down here around the bottom. And again, no accidents back here or anything like that. Spare tire area looks good. If you look up in here, this looks nice, little rock. Got that. You know, overall, looks pretty good underneath. You know, you can see back here, below the quarter panel looks good. You can see some little bubbles right there. Little spot right there underneath the trim. Rest of the rocker here looks really good. The bottom of the fender there looks good. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what it looks like. You can see here the date code on DOT. Got it upside down there for you, but 2017 is when the tires were put on it. So hopefully that gives you a good look. This is a no reserve auction on it, so top bid is going to get it. If you got questions or anything like that, give me a jingle. Just trying to show you what the car is and just our typical way of doing things. So this is a car that you could fly in and drive at home and shouldn't be any problem. So you know, it is an old car, but it's very roadworthy for sure. So anyways, talk to you later and good luck.